Today I'm going to be covering 5 things that you need to know before moving to Telford in 2023, and if you stick around to the end of this video I'm going to tell you the one thing that I wished I'd known before I moved to Telford last year. Hi, I'm Mark Garner, and just over a year ago I moved from Walsall to Telford. So I thought I'd put this video together just to give anybody else out there who is thinking of making the move into Telford in 2023 just a little bit of information on what you'd need to know about the area. This is some of the information that we looked into when considering to move out of Walsall and into Telford. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of Telford itself. I'm going to talk a little bit about the housing market, the jobs market, the transport in the area, and also the nightlife, the lifestyle, and yeah, just to give you a bit of an insight as to what I've found having lived in Telford for just over a year. So the other thing I would like you guys to do, it's a great support and a big help for me if you could hit that like button, subscribe and hit that notification bell. It really shows that you guys are enjoying the videos and it's worth me continuing, and also it helps push these videos out to a wider audience. So without further ado, let's crack on with this information. So Telford's a relatively new town. It was put together in the late 60s from an amalgamation of smaller villages in the area, and we are in Shropshire in the West Midlands. We're around about 30 mile northwest of Birmingham city centre and 13 mile east of Shrewsbury. Now, we are one of the fastest growing towns in the UK, and I believe the largest town in the Shropshire area as well. We've got a population of around about 170,000, and that is growing. There's a lot of development going on in the area, and it's got a great diverse population with people from different backgrounds and cultures, so it really is a great place to make your home. And Telford's economy has been based on jobs around manufacturing, engineering, logistics, the service sector, and it's also attracted investment with regards to renewable energy for wind and solar power. Now, it's got a rich history dating back to the 18th century, and it got its name from a guy called Thomas Telford, who basically was a civil engineer. He designed the first wrought iron bridge, which is in the little village of Ironbridge. It's quite a popular place for people to go and see. And after that, in the 20th century, the area kind of grew quite rapidly due to new industries coming into the area and new development of homes as well. Telford, it's got a vibrant culture of people and population, and several museums and galleries around the area for people to visit, which kind of tell you about the past history and the heritage of the area as well. And the town has several parks and green spaces, including Telford Park itself, which has been modernised over the years from when it was first incorporated into the area. And also we've got the Wrekin, which is one of the famous hill climbs in the area, which I went up myself for the first time last week. I know it's took me a year before getting up there, but it really is worth getting up and doing the climb, because the views off the top of there are absolutely stunning. So let's get on to the local property market in Telford. The average house price in Telford is around 225,000, which is quite a bit below the national average of around about 290 as it stands. And this is one of the main reasons we moved away from Walsall to the Telford area. A similar house type that we were looking at in a not so nice area in Walsall was going to cost us £7,000 more than the property that we bought in Lawley, which is a brand new area in itself. There's been a lot of redevelopment round here over the last 12 to 13 years, and they've still got a few more hundred houses to be built and complete on a site which is not too far away. So the area offers a good range of house types. Now, prices are going to vary depending on the area that you're looking at, the size of the property that you're looking at, the condition of the property. but there is new and there's old. So you've got an historic town, which is Wellington, not too far away from where I am in Lawley. That has got a diverse choice of property types from old going through to new. It has had a lot of redevelopment over there as well. And then you've got Lawley, which is where I'm currently at, and Lightmoor, which is just an area that's had a number of 4,000 houses built on it over the last 12 to 13 years, with a few hundred more in the pipeline. You've got some other areas which are very popular. So you've got Ketley, Madeley and Oakengates as well. And they are more established areas, but they have had some new build developments that have come up in those areas, but just not on the scale as what Lawley and Lightmoor has. Now, Telford's rental market is a growing market. It does offer quite a wide choice of properties available to rent. Most of them are going to be apartments and terraced houses, with some semis and some larger detached properties thrown into the mix as well. Prices are going to vary dependent on the size of the property and the location that you're looking at. Now, as an established estate agent living in the Telford area, obviously I can offer some good advice to anybody that's thinking of moving into the area, whether you're purchasing or from a rental point of view, to look then to purchase later on. So please feel free to reach out to me via any of the social media channels that you found this video on, or you've got my contact number and email somewhere where this video is. I'm sure you'll find it. Okay, so moving on to the jobs market in Telford. As with any town, the jobs are based on the economy. Now, at present, from personal experience of going into Telford town centre and going out to pubs, restaurants and enjoying myself, there is still a lot of people out there spending money. In the shopping centre, the main shopping centre in Telford town, you've got a lot of the big names which are still operating in there. There's very few shops which are currently unoccupied and kind of boarded up for let. It's definitely a lot different to what I experienced in Walsall, where I would say a lot bigger percentage of the shops in the town centre were kind of boarded up and closed down. You've got a lot of the big retailers, the big restaurants, chains. So there's going to be a lot of jobs in hospitality, sales, customer service, engineering, IT, project management, renewable energy as well. Some of the big companies in the area are Cape Gemini, Rico. You've also got Granger and Worrell, and then you've got the Telford International Centre as well. So there are a lot of prospects there. As I say, the construction is definitely a big industry at the moment within the Telford area. So if you're connected to anything along those lines that I've mentioned, then there's going to be work there for you. There's definitely people going into the town and spending money. Whereas when I was living in Walsall, I kind of got the feeling that people weren't spending money in the town centre anymore. They must have been obviously going different places, Birmingham, Sutton Coldfield, that kind of thing. But people are going into Telford town centre, and I would highly recommend the shopping and the retail there as well. Now, from an unemployment perspective, Telford's unemployment rate is around about 4.2% at current, and that is below the national average, which again just kind of backs up what I've just said, that there are jobs out there, people are spending money. You've got two big supermarkets in the area, Tesco's and Asda, and you've also got the various retail parks as well, with a lot of the big brands in there. So there is money being spent in the area, and I do feel that it's got a strong jobs market at present. So moving on to transport links in Telford. Now, we're not too far away from the M54, the A5 and the A442, which all provide great links to other parts of the West Midlands and other parts of the UK as well. As for the bus service, we've got regular bus services which are provided by Arriva and Stagecoach. There is also some local park and ride services available as well, and they are very, very good. At the moment, I think the government's got some scheme running where the maximum fare you can pay is £2 for just a single ticket. We actually went to Shrewsbury from Telford the other day. The bus stop is literally right outside of my house, and yeah, down the M54 and into Shrewsbury, all for £2, which I think is great value at the moment. We've also got the closest airport being Birmingham Airport. That's around about 45 minutes away, so just down the M54 onto the M6 and then the M42 heading into the airport. And train stations, we've actually got two. We've got Telford Central and we've got one in Oakengates. Again, you can get to Birmingham, Walsall, Wolverhampton, Shrewsbury and any of the other surrounding areas by going into Birmingham or some of the other stations and getting connections. And the trains do operate quite regular and frequently from those stations as well. So from a transport point of view, yes, if I want to go and see family, I do have a 30-minute drive back in towards Walsall. But getting down the M54, I've never really had a problem from a traffic and congestion point of view, unless there's been an accident. The issue tends to be getting back onto the M6 and heading towards Junction 10. But if there is an issue there, then we can always come off at Junction 1, the Cannock junction, and go through Featherstone heading into Walsall that way as well. So transport wise, it's great. I've really enjoyed it being over here. It's not too bad commuting into Walsall and Birmingham at all. So moving on to lifestyle and leisure. Well, as I've said and kind of touched on already, from a lifestyle and leisure point of view, for me, Telford has been absolutely brilliant. It's kind of miles apart from what Walsall was, if I'm honest. You've got the main shopping centre in Telford, which I've already stated is very, very popular. Every time I go in there, it's always busy. You've also got the Forge Retail Park, the Wrekin Retail Park as well. They always seem to be really, really busy on a weekend and at various times during the week as well. Restaurants wise, I really do like the choice of restaurants in the town centre. You've got some of the big chains, Bella Italia, TGI Fridays, and there's a couple of other smaller chains which I would highly recommend. Novella Lounge and the other one I was thinking about. You've got the Grazing Cow, which is a local pub, which is based in Lawley. That is really, really good. He does a quiz night on a Sundays as well. And you've also got a Shuka in Lawley, absolute amazing Indian restaurant. That's kind of all I've experienced at the moment. I've tried some of the bigger chains as well, but they're pretty much standard wherever you go, such as TGI's and Bella Italia, and you've got Pizza Express and everything in the town as well. From a nightlife point of view, there's not a lot of nightclubs, so there is a bar which is also a restaurant as well, called Albert Shed. Now they do offer live music in there and comedy events, and I know sometimes that is open till 4 a.m. I've not experienced the nightlife in there that late, but we've definitely been in there for cocktails and food, and I would highly recommend it. You've also got the Liquor Lab in town. That is just a cocktail bar. They do offer nibbles, but me and the wife have had some great nights in there, just enjoying the cocktails, and it's not the cheapest place to go, but the cocktails are very strong. Sports facilities, now you've got a lot of sports centres around the Telford area. Me, the wife, and the daughter and her boyfriend, we've kind of got back into badminton, and there's a lot of sports facilities that we can choose from to book a badminton court, but they also offer other things from tennis, swimming, saunas, gyms. You've got a gym, Anytime Fitness, which is the gym I go to in Lawley. I would highly recommend that. Chris, the manager there, and the other staff who do some of the personal training, they're absolutely brilliant, very friendly. They pretty much get to know everybody by name as well. You've also got the Telford Tennis Centre, Telford Ice Rink, and Telford Athletic Centre. Again, they kind of speak for themselves. You've got a bowling alley in the town as well. And the other thing I do feel that Telford Council are really, really good at is their events that they put on. Now, we went to a balloon event in the summer last year, which they put live music on. The balloons were going off during the day, and then they had the nighttime burn as well. Various drinks and food vendors there. Absolutely amazing day. Never saw any trouble. It was absolutely brilliant. And I know they do a lot of other events throughout the year as well. Now, I've not been to all of them, so I'm just going to have a quick look here. Yeah, you've got the Balloon Fiesta, you've got the Ironbridge Gorge Brass Band Festival, you've got the Shropshire Oktoberfest, the Telford Festival, obviously all about food, and Telford Christmas Market. We did go to that. It's not on the scale of Birmingham Christmas Market, but it was still a good experience, and we had a fun evening there doing that. But yeah, Walsall really let themselves down when it came to doing events, but I do think Telford Council do their utmost to kind of get the community involved with these events and utilising that absolutely amazing park that they've got right in the town centre. So it's definitely worth checking out on the local Telford website, council website, or on Facebook, and just see what events are happening in the area, and get yourself out to the events. Come and have a look around Telford and see what it's all about before you kind of take the plunge and move into the area. That's exactly what me and the wife did, and that's what drew us into the area. So yeah, that's the 5 things that you need to know about living in Telford before you move over here. Well, I hope you found that information useful, especially if you are considering Telford as an area to move into. As promised, there was one thing that I said if you stop to the end of this video that I was going to tell you. It's the one thing that I kind of don't like about Telford. But before I tell you that, please hit that like button, subscribe, and press that notification bell. It really does help me as a channel grow, and it tells the YouTube algorithm that people enjoy these videos, and it puts it out to more viewers out there. Right, so getting back to the one thing that I kind of don't like about Telford, and it's not that big on the grand scheme of things, but it's certainly something that you should be aware of. Being in Walsall, I got very used to using Uber as my regular taxis. I soon found out when trying to book an Uber in Telford that Uber drivers are non-existent. Now, you can get Uber Eats delivery drivers for food, but when it comes to getting taxis, forget Uber. You have to use an app called Go Cars, which it's kind of based around the Uber kind of design, where you go onto the app, you obviously put in where you want picking up from, where you want to go to, and it gives you a price. It sends you information about the driver, the registration, blah blah blah, the same as Uber. One thing I have noticed is though, is that busier times on the weekends, in the evenings, you can be waiting around 20 to 30 minutes before you even find out who your driver is. So yeah, it's the one gripe that I've got over here, is that this Go Cars have kind of monopolised the taxis in the area, and even some of the drivers have complained about them, if I'm honest. But they're like, we can't go anywhere else, because if we try to go it alone, they just don't get the number of business, because everybody is using that app, because they've kind of been forced into it. So that is my one gripe about the Telford area. Apart from that, I would highly recommend looking at Telford as a serious option if you're looking to move out of places like Birmingham, Walsall, Cannock, surrounding areas, or from anywhere else in the country or in the world for that matter. Right, so that is it from me. I hope you found this video enjoyable and informative. You can reach out to me on any of the social media platforms that you found this video on. I'm Mark Garner, powered by EXP. I'm a local estate agent in the Telford area. If any of you have got any questions related to property in Telford, or even any of the surrounding areas for that matter, then reach out to me. My contact number is 077 89 647 226, and my email is mark.garner@exp.uk.com. Well, that's it from me, guys. Until next time, see you later.